The next morning, the media was in an uproar. The dirty secrets of Cowell's hospitals had been exposed. Reporters flooded the streets, their cameras flashing as they besieged the hospital entrances. Inside, administrators and staff members scrambled, trying to contain the fallout of the scandal that had rocked the healthcare industry. It all began when an anonymous whistleblower leaked documents detailing gross negligence, corruption, and unethical practices within Cowell's hospital network. The revelation sent shockwaves through the community, leaving patients and their families outraged and demanding answers. As journalists dug deeper into the story, more disturbing details emerged. Patients had been subjected to unnecessary procedures to inflate billing, medication errors were rampant, and reports of staff mistreatment of patients surfaced. Patients from very poor families were forced to sign agreements to donate their organs for their families to be given money, and those without families, and no one to take care of them, were not given chances to choose. They would be forced into surgery, and then be killed and reported as death under the anesthetic or perioperative death. Those organs were sold to high-ranking officials, but the information of the organ buyers was still unknown. James's target was only the Cowells. That's why he didn't expose the organ buyers' identities, but since he had their information, he had his own plans to use them at the right time, and he would make sure that none of those buyers would step in this problem to help the Cowells. Whoever tries it will have to go down with them. These were heavy charges that the Cowells, no matter how strong and powerful they might be, would not be able to sweep away. James was really a ruthless man. As the media frenzy intensified, pressure mounted on law enforcement agencies to launch a thorough investigation into the allegations. Too many hateful comments were increasing every second. "I can't believe someone would be a doctor and build hospitals only to do those things. Sacrificing people's lives for money? Just because they are poor or have no families? You're right. I wonder who gave them the right to operate. Well, I would like to ask if the Ministry of Health ever made supervision in that hospital. I was also given money after my brother's death. They told me that it was their condolences. Never expected that they killed my brother, gave me some money, and in exchange sold his organs. The Cowells should go to hell. Is that how rich people live? Killing others and then coming to the public acting like heroes?" The public outcry reached a fever pitch as more and more people shared their harrowing experiences and voiced their anger and disgust. Social media platforms were flooded with hashtags demanding justice for the victims and calling for the Cowell family to be held accountable for their crimes. James had just woken up when he received a call from Nick. Nick's voice crackled through the phone. "Sir, it's done. Turn on your TV." James rubbed his eyes without disconnecting the call and reached for the remote, turning on the television. His heart raced as he watched the news coverage unfold. The screen was filled with images of protesters outside Cowell's hospitals, holding signs demanding justice for the victims. Reporters were discussing the shocking revelations, their voices tense and full of anger. A smile occurred on his lips, a mix of satisfaction and determination coursing through him. "Good work, Nick. But this is just the beginning. That's the price of crossing me." James went directly to his study and sat in his chair, looking at the evidence that was exposed in the media. Right at that time, Jocelyn trolled into the study with anger. She slammed the door hard. She really couldn't hold back her anger. She had thought that James would fight back, but never in the world had she ever thought that James, the man she married, the man she treated like trash in the past 5 years, could ever do such a thing for her and her family. She was the major surgeon and the only heiress of the Cowells hospitals. She couldn't believe that her husband would crush her like that without a second thought. Now her family's empire is about to crumble to ashes. James looked up from the documents as Jocelyn stormed into the room, her anger palpable in the air. He watched her with cool composure, knowing full well the storm that was brewing within her. "Jocelyn," he said calmly, leaning back in his chair. A wicked smile appeared on his cheeks. "Why are you angry in the morning? You look like you saw a ghost." Jocelyn scoffed. her eyes blazing with fury. "It was you, James, right? Don't even dare to deny it. You're the ghost and the devil at the same time. You've destroyed me and everything. My family's legacy, our reputation, all because of some vendetta of yours." James took a step closer, his expression unwavering. "You know as well as I do, Jocelyn. I am not a wizard. I don't interact with ghosts." He smiled and stood up. "I am the devil himself, but of course to those who have crossed me. But you did not just cross me, Jocelyn. You triple crossed me. Now you think this is unfair? What's there to be fair about? You and your family bankrupted my company. You acted like heroes, as if you saved me, and pushed me under your shoes, only to step on me whenever you wanted. I, James Hawkins, became your slave." He chuckled and continued. "You started cheating right before my eyes and treated me like trash, not to mention your family. Shall I continue? Now you still come before me, standing in front of me and saying that nonsense? Rubbish. Last time you went to my family, you know what you did. When I asked you, do you remember what you told me, but you forgot my promise? So this is just the beginning of my promise to you. I am not done. Shall I tell you the next step? To take back the name I gave you. Soon enough, you'll not be Mrs. Hawkins." Jocelyn recoiled at James's words, her anger turning into a mixture of shock and fear. She had never seen this side of James before, this raw, unrelenting determination to exact revenge. It sent a chill down her spine, realizing the depth of the mistake she had made by underestimating him. You wouldn't dare," she stammered, her voice trembling slightly despite her attempts to appear composed. "You wouldn't dare to take away everything I have left." James's smile widened, but there was no warmth in it. It was cold and calculated, like a predator ready to strike. "Oh, but I would dare, Jocelyn. You forget who you're dealing with. You forget the depths of betrayal you've plunged me into. You've underestimated me for far too long. Now it's time for you to face the consequences." Jocelyn's mind raced. Her world and everything she had worked for were being destroyed one by one. "What do you want, James?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper, a hint of desperation creeping in. "Oh, my dear Jocelyn, I want everything you have." James leaned in closer, his eyes boring into hers with intensity. "I want everything, Jocelyn. Everything that was taken from me by you and your family. And I won't rest until I have it all back. And I won't take back what you took from me only. I will take even the smallest thing you own, starting with your precious Cowles hospitals." He broke into laughter. "Don't even think of negotiating or acting cute here, because I don't need your help. I can take whatever I want without a problem." With those words hanging in the air like a dark omen, James turned and walked out of the room, leaving Jocelyn to grapple with the harsh reality of her situation. Jocelyn was left stunned, tears flowing down like a river. She had never expected this to happen. She screamed, "You're wrong, James, you monster. I won't let you do as you wish. If I go down, we go together." Deep down, she knew it was just words. Now James holds the upper hand. She knew she had to act fast before James could further dismantle everything they had built. With shaky hands, she picked up her phone and dialed her father. The old man was already under pressure. He was the current chairman of Cowles Hospitals, and now things had escalated into his administration. He was already in the process of finding a way to silence the media. As the phone rang, Jocelyn's heart raced with anticipation. Her father's voice crackled through the receiver, filled with tension and concern. "Jocelyn, what's going on? Have you seen the news?" Her father's voice was strained, indicating he was already aware of the dire situation. "Yes, Dad. I've seen it. I am in trouble. I am the CEO and the chief surgeon of the hospital. They will freeze my license and may go to jail," Jocelyn replied, trying to keep her voice steady despite the turmoil raging within her. "James, he's behind all of this. He's declared war on us, Dad. He's not going to stop until he's destroyed everything. Don't worry, Jocelyn. I am going to fix this. Hey, why would James do such a thing? Where could he get the resources to influence the media? We've taken everything from him. Besides, he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know what we did to him. Otherwise, why would he wait 5 years to get back at us? Jocelyn had never told her father that it had slipped her tongue. She had never told her father that the tables had turned. Now she had to find a way to solve the problem herself. Jocelyn took a deep breath, trying to gather her thoughts amidst the chaos. Dad, I don't know why he's doing this, but I have a feeling it was him. Don't underestimate him. Jocelyn, don't worry. I can't go down without a fight. I have gone through a lot to get where I am. James has been busy preparing for the Hawkins Corporation anniversary celebration party. The party is in 3 days. Do you think he has much time? He had no time for this, of course. And again, no matter what, he may find out about us or that we were the ones behind his company's project failure. And don't forget that I am now the biggest shareholder of Hawkins Corporation. He can't dare fight with me. He took a deep breath before continuing. I have a press conference to clear up those allegations. I would never admit to any of it. I will say that it's our rival's doing to humiliate us. Jocelyn's voice was filled with worry as she rebelled against her father. But, Dad, they will ask you about the evidence. Jocelyn's father let out a heavy sigh on the other end of the line. I know, Jocelyn, but we can't admit to anything. We'll deny it vehemently and shift the blame onto our competitors. We have to buy time, gather our resources, and come up with a plan to solve this disaster. Jocelyn nodded, even though her father couldn't see her. I understand, Dad. Good. Stay strong, Jocelyn. Go to work as if nothing happened, her father replied, his voice filled with determination. Maggie had woken up earlier to make breakfast. Olga was drunk last night, so she wanted to cook a hangover soup for her. Kaya had already woken up and went directly to the kitchen. Auntie Maggie, I am starving. Good morning, sweetheart. Maggie greeted Kaya with a warm smile. Hungry, are we? I was just about to finish cooking something hearty. Now why don't you go wash your face and brush your teeth? Kaya nodded eagerly, her stomach rumbling audibly as she scampered off to the bathroom. Maggie chuckled softly to herself, appreciating the girl's youthful exuberance. She stirred the pot of soup on the stove, the aroma of herbs and spices filling the air. Kaya returned, her face freshly scrubbed and her hair still slightly damp. She took a seat at the kitchen table, her stomach growling impatiently. Maggie ladled steaming soup into a bowl and set it in front of her, along with scrambled eggs and a slice of crusty bread. Here you go, dear, Maggie said, giving Kaya's shoulder an affectionate squeeze. This should warm you up and fill your belly. Thanks, Auntie Maggie, Kaya said gratefully, digging into her meal with gusto. Where is Mommy, Auntie? She didn't read for me last night. Dear, Mommy went out with her friends last night. That's why I had to take you to bed. But she is home now. She is resting in her room. Don't disturb her, okay? I will take you to school today. Just then, Olga stumbled into the kitchen, rubbing her temples and squinting against the morning light. She looked disheveled but slightly better than the night before. She kissed her baby and said, I am here, sweetie. I know you missed me. I did too. How was your night? She then turned to Maggie, who was already pouring soup into the bowl. Morning, Maggie, she mumbled, collapsing into a chair at the table. Good morning, Olga, Maggie replied, concern etching her features. I made some hangover soup for you. It should help. Olga managed a weak smile, accepting the bowl gratefully. As she sipped the soothing broth, color returned to her cheeks, and she began to look more like her usual self. Thanks, Maggie, Olga said, her voice still hoarse but appreciative. You're a lifesaver. She then looked at her watch and said, I can't take Kaya to school without bathing first. I smell alcohol everywhere. She stood up to leave. However, Maggie forcibly sat her down. Go and bathe, freshen, take your phone, and call Frank. He brought you home when you were drunk. I will take Kaya to school. And remember, you have a lot to tell me when I come back." Olga sighed, feeling a mix of gratitude and embarrassment. She nodded, knowing that Maggie was right. She is a mother now. Getting drunk wasn't right at all. Okay. I'll do as you say," she relented, pushing herself up from the chair with a groan. "Thanks, Maggie, for everything." Maggie smiled understandingly, her eyes soft with empathy. "No problem, Olga. Just take care of yourself, all right? And we'll talk later." With a nod, Olga trudged out of the kitchen, making her way to the bathroom to freshen up. Meanwhile, Maggie finished preparing Kaya and packed her lunchbox, making sure everything was good before they left for school. In the bathroom, Olga peeled off her clothes and stepped into the shower, letting the hot water cascade over her tired body. The steam helped clear her head, and as she lathered up with soap, she couldn't help but replay snippets of the previous night in her mind. She couldn't remember clearly what had happened. All she could remember was that they were dancing and drinking. Then she went to the bathroom, and a man followed her and wanted to harm her. The last thing she remembered was a man saving her. She tried hard to remember who it was, but nothing more came out of her mind.